Hello and welcome everybody. Today we're talking about pickleball. I am new to pickleball, so I'm inviting you to come along on an adventure with pickleball. We're going to start out with paddles, okay? I need paddles, probably get some shoes because I play on different surfaces, and maybe a net. Indoor, outdoor net, not entirely sure how this is all going to work out, but I would like to invite you along on my adventure. The first thing I want to mention are the cheapest paddle that I bought. Well, it's kind of tied for cheapest, is this Franklin Atlas pickleball paddle. Do you know where I found this? Everybody's like, that looks really familiar and it looks pretty cheap. Yeah, I bought it at Target for 20 bucks. Okay, so there you go. So it's at Target. I bought actually several clubs at Target. I'll show you those in future videos, but I want to discuss this one in particular because I already have fun memories with this paddle. Let's get this on the review table and have a closer look. So let's have a closer look at the Franklin Atlas. You might notice certain things as we talk. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So we're gonna start with the grip. You'll notice it has a tennis style butt cap, you know, obviously wider than the grip itself, very normal in racket sports. The grip itself is a faux leather, double stitched pattern here, right here. Has a reasonable feel. I wear medium gloves. I wear a large golf glove because they are pretty tight and it still fits really tight with a large golf glove on my left hand. So that's the size of my hands, and you can see how I can grip this. If I want to grip it two-handed, I do have to choke way down here, which is why I appreciate this tennis style butt here. And I can grip it two-handed, again, not with much real estate, but enough. So the grip itself is lovely. It's taped up here with a grip band. I like the grip band because it kind of gives you that tactile feel of when you're getting close to the paddle surface here. The paddle surface is fine. I'm going to try to get a glare on here so you can see it's not glossy, it's not shiny, it's not super textured. It's, I would say, mildly textured. The graphics, you know, Atlas branding, Franklin, US Pickleball approved, US, isn't it? USP? I don't remember. Anyway, it says USA Pickleball approved. So the graphics are a little busy, but what do you expect? It's a pickleball paddle. And then an interesting thing that I noticed on this, I'm not sure if it's going to show, but there is a mold mark right here. This plastic was cast or glued together. Interesting. It feels like there's some flashing. So with the molding process with plastic, sometimes when their molds fit together, there'll be a little seam and there'll be flashing, just extra plastic. And that's what it looks like happened here. And it is a plastic. I know that because after we warmed up, I played a little bit with it and then I let my 10-year-old play with it. And on the first outing, he kind of got frustrated, threw it up it was a little over the rim, so maybe 12 feet in the air. And it came down hard and it had what we're gonna call an inelastic collision here, all right? So this just snapped and it broke right along the seam. Okay, interesting. So this particular paddle, for me, because I have a 10-year-old, didn't survive its first outing. Is that a deal breaker? I don't think so. At $20, I don't see that as a realistic thing that's going to happen to most of the viewers of this video, their first outing. But it is something to note that this is a weak point in the paddle. And if you look on the inside, you can see it looks like corrugated plastic. The engineers are going to flip out. I mean, you can't stick anything in there. Oh, you can't. There's actually a hole there. Anyway, it looks like corrugated plastic, but the engineers are going to parachute in and say something like it's a closed cell engineered polymer. You know, you're like, all right, that's great. You mean like corrugated plastic? So that's what's on the inside of this particular paddle. I'm not going to show you the innards of every paddle I review. This one just happens to be convenient because of that. So I'm going to show you some quick measurements here. You can see, we're running about 15, can you see here at the end? About 15 and 5/8 from the butt all the way to the tip of the bumper here. The grip itself, if you include the grip band, you're running about 5 inches, or what is that, about 12.5 centimeters. The width of it, 7.5 inches, again, a little over 19 millimeters. I want to do the paddle surface. I'm just going to push this all the way down up against the tape of the grip, and it's a little over 10 and a half. I would say just less than 10 3/4 of an inch. Again, a little over 27 centimeters. So I've hit this, my 10-year-old has hit this. This is, one of my first pickleball paddles, and it was very inexpensive. Very accessible too, all right? Now, my analysis of the situation. This is like a garbage disposal. You just keep it running all day. I'm kidding, all right. The reason why I say that is it's something that is useful. It has its purpose. It has its use. Pickle. I hit ball. Pickleball. And it's fine until it breaks. Then it just becomes this big nuisance of like, arg, why? Can I borrow your paddle? It's like, can I come over to your house and grind up these strawberries in my garbage disposal? Maybe that's not the best analogy, but it's one of those things where it's like, it never occurred to me that durability would be something I'm looking for in a pickleball paddle. It's like a ping pong paddle. I'm not thinking, is this gonna last through the month? No. The first outing, the first time I used this, granted, 10-year-old, if anybody out there is watching this and you have any sort of rein on your emotions, or you can rein them in, this is unlikely to happen, but it can happen. Accidental drops, you're swinging your paddle. I've had indoor sessions where I have a backswing and it's indoor and I'll clip a beam behind me because somebody back, you know how it is sometimes, like you get backed up past the baseline. So either way, to me, I feel like there are better options to start with, my opinion. As a brand new pickler, yeah, let's go with that. So Franklin Atlas. I am not happy with it because it broke. Don't like it. My opinion. Let me know your thoughts and experiences with some people. This might be perfect. Like I can imagine this would just fit somebody's hand just right and they love it and they've been using it for months. Okay, let us know in the comments below. But for me, I have kids. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe. Looking forward to reading your comments. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to come back with more picklage content next week.